I've been very interested in the SEC's case against Ripple, which was filed on December 22, 2020, for the past 3 years. A lot of people in the Bitcoin world are interested in this case. When it was first made public, the SEC did offer Ripple and its leaders Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsson a chance to settle. However, the nature and specifics of these suggested settlement terms were not made public, so many of us had to guess what they meant. Hello, Moneyside family. We are your reliable source for all things XRP. Before we dive, please hit the like button, subscribe, and notifications to become a part of our group. Also, once we reach 60,000 followers, we'll be giving away a huge amount of XRP. To get in the running, you only need to follow 3 easy steps. Keep those in mind. Leave a comment with the hashtag Moneyside to make sure you get a spot. After years of guesswork and confusion, we finally have a better idea of what those settlement terms are. And I'm happy to say that my first guess was right. Without a doubt, these terms were. This is completely wrong. Not only were they ridiculous, but they were also bad for Ripple and, by extension, everyone who owns XRP. The SEC's requirements were so strict and unfavorable that if Ripple had agreed to them, they would have hurt XRP owners' finances in a way that could not be fixed. This issue shows how important it is for Ripple to be able to handle their finances and stand up to the SEC. When Ripple decided to fight back, they did so with a lot of money, or war chest, to use some terms. Was important. We XRP holders could have been in a lot of financial trouble if we hadn't been so defiant and had the means to keep going. To put it simply, the deal terms were scary. It's a stark reminder of how important these legal fights are and how they might affect individual investors and the cryptocurrency community as a whole. It might have changed everything, and not for the better. If Ripple had agreed to the SEC's terms, there would have been instant and maybe even long-term effects on XRP holders in the US. It could have been very bad. The existence of XRP might have continued, but it could have been very bad for US investors. They didn't know how they would get better, and the business landscape in XRP could have changed a lot. At the end of the 3rd year since the SEC sued Stuart Alderoty, who is Ripple's top legal officer, said something very important. Last night, he talked about the talks and problems that were going on behind the scenes. His news was a stark warning of how important Ripple was in protecting XRP holders from effects that could be very bad, especially in the US. XRP's value had already dropped because of the case. The market reacted right away and badly. The effects went far beyond the price changes, no pun meant. A huge number of people who could have been working on the XRP ledger didn't. A lot of possible investors stayed away from XRP, which artificially lowered its price and is still doing so today. However, Alderoty says, if Ripple had done what the SEC asked, things could have gone much worse. He is the chief legal officer at Ripple and their best lawyer. His ideas helped us understand how serious the situation was and what Ripple did to protect not only its own interests but also those of the whole XRP community. Stuart Alderoty, who is the chief legal officer of Ripple, recently talked about an important event in the company's past. The SEC sued Ripple, Chris Larsson, and Brad Garlinghouse 3 years ago. On the same day, the SEC made a deal offer that would have had huge effects on XRP. Alderoty says that the SEC wanted to make XRP a public security, which would have given the market a short time to comply. For 2 very important reasons, Ripple's answer was a clear no. The company first stuck to its claim that XRP is not a bond. Second, because the SEC hadn't set up a clear way for crypto companies to follow the rules. Alderoty said that the main point of this legal fight has always been to prove that XRP being safe is not enough on its own. Ripple took a big risk when it turned down the SEC's settlement deal. Not many people thought they could beat such a strong opponent. Because Ripple didn't give up, they not only won, but they also showed that the SEC was inconsistent and went too far. It wasn't just Ripple that caused this fight. It had to do with protecting the US cryptocurrency business as a whole. Now that we're in 2024, Ripple's fight with the SEC has set a standard. The end of XRP, especially in the US, for really bad reasons. It would have been terrible for people in the US who owned XRP and could have caused damage that could not be fixed. While XRP was allowed outside of the US, the lack of clarity and certainty in the US could have stopped new ideas and investments, which could have changed how people around the world saw XRP. It's tough to picture the route Ripple and XRP would have had to take in that case. But one thing is for sure, Ripple's choice to fight back has had a huge impact on both the present and the future of XRP. Ripple's fight with the SEC has been nothing less than a court thriller as it has gone on. It was very important, not just for Ripple but for the whole cryptocurrency community. The effects on Ripple would have been huge and possibly disastrous if they had agreed with the SEC that XRP is a property. What it would have done could have ruined the future of XRP and maybe even other coins for good. Lawyer James Murphy, also known as Metal Alman Online, recently came back into the news after being wrongfully kicked off a platform. He talked directly to Stuart Alderati and praised Ripple for not giving in to the incredibly strong pressure from the bully, the US government. A lot of people in the crypto world are relieved and impressed by what he said. Murphy said, "Very few companies and executives have the guts to refuse to give the bully their lunch money." This quote perfectly describes Ripple's stand against the SEC as David versus Goliath. In this fight, Ripple, even though it was the outsider, did manage to get sweet justice. At first, the situation looked very bad. Many experienced securities lawyers said that Ripple would have a bad result. Despite the widespread doubt, Ripple's strength in the face of a powerful enemy like the SEC was truly impressive. Lawyer John Deaton, who wasn't normally a securities lawyer, looked at the case with a new point of view. Others in the field were more pessimistic about the SEC's chances of winning this fight, but he was sure that they wouldn't. His fresh eyes and new way of looking at the case gave people who were generally pessimistic a glimmer of hope. In addition, lawyer Bill Morgan summed up the situation very well by saying that the SEC's main goal was to get Ripple to give up. This could have set off a chain reaction that would have created a whole market for cryptocurrencies and could have led to them being widely seen as stocks. Such a move by Ripple would have had huge effects on other developers and the crypto business as a whole. It's likely to be used as a standard in future lawsuits against other cryptocurrency. When Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsson, two of Ripple's top leaders, refused to give in to the SEC's demands, it was a turning point in the legal case. If they had agreed to list XRP as a security, there would have been huge ripple effects, no pun meant. It would have been easy for them to get away, but it would have hurt the whole XRP community. They were put under a lot of pressure, which was a form of